YouTube is live. We are live at
6:15.
6:15.
Actually, I won't even go to this yet. What's that?
6:21.
6:21.
So,
Yeah.
it's not too
Hello. Smell?
Sat down right next to me. I don't know. I don't stink.
I walked in the room, so unless you're, unless it's.
Is it my cologne?
They have been doing interviews with some of the senior characters up here this afternoon. Some football stars.
Maybe. Maybe. Good, are you? It's not me, I'm just saying.
Well, not what's the number one.
Tends to cut into the trees.
I smell okay.
6 years.
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And, it was, husband and wife had appointments. And the wife checks in and the husband's phone disappeared. What the hell? Like, you know, where they come together with the house. She walks in, and I walk in, and she's in the room. Smells like a skunk. And, like, oh, what happened? And then what turned out, because the dog has sprayed by skunk and such stuff, so he stayed behind to deal with the stuff. And she, I don't know if she was a nurse, she worked at the hospital, and she was leaving from my appointment to go to work. And I said to her, do you realize you smell like a skunk?
Really bad.
And she's like, what? She's like, I don't smell a thing. I'm like, yeah, you're going to go like, I don't know.
It's because you're used to it.
Yeah, because you're used to it, yeah. And then I said, you know, just when I go to work, if they send me home because they don't like the smell, that's on them.
Yeah.
If they do go in because of it.
Yours pretty much then?
Yeah, well, our dog did probably for me in that door. Well, the
It's
dog,
not pleasant experience.
well, yeah, the dog would stay over there and then she'd be barking something that was kind of running over and next thing you know, you get this horrible.
Yeah.
Eyes start to water and everything else and.
It doesn't smell like it does when you drive past it in your car. It's worse than that.
And then my wife was out, she heard us yelling, and then she comes out and she's like, what are you yelling? And she smelled it.
month. That is yours, yes. We finish that, isn't it?
Well, we sort of, yeah, we go back to, we, you know, we three through a bunch of stuff. Then we finished one page.
And that was just on 400, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, we did,
We just did 400, like, please.
yeah. Yeah, we included that stuff, but we did like, we get the first page on page 8. And what do you do about those numbers? Yeah, we didn't really decide on this stuff, right? We didn't really decide on it. It's probably easier to this stuff for the half hour we have, right?
What's that?
Well, you should just do the police again and see.
Yeah.
And just start cutting.
Yeah, I would finish them up. Finish.
Yeah,
Finish them.
yeah, see what we can create them on, you know, splitting stuff and.
You wanna do the police again?
Yeah, and some of this, because we didn't really, you brought up some of your things, especially on page 8. But then we didn't really, we just kept going, we didn't really. Make a definite decision on anything there. We're just kind of, okay, this number, that didn't match the first one, that is the second one, and then. Right?
That's why I didn't make any changes until,
We didn't,
because we just keep,
we didn't. say-
everybody gets a different edition, you know?
That's right, that's right, we didn't say.
So after tonight, I'll plug in all the changes up on that.
Well, you did change some of that stuff, right? I mean, like, say, for instance.
From the original one, yes.
Like 410-203, it was 1200, you said 1500. Now you want to change the name to.
410-203.
Yeah, the community police education materials, or whatever that is. We
Yeah,
said,
whatever you guys want.
yeah, we said 1500, I don't know if you changed that, and then, like, change the name to weapon repair and. Yeah. All that stuff.
Yeah, 1500.
And then.
Then,
Well, once he sits down, we can, let's 10 minutes.
for capital purchases minor, we got to the $5,000. So we're looking at my AV and,
Well, actually, why don't we just, no, it was the old one. All right, at 6:30, we'll call the October 21st, 2025 budget into order. Roll call, Mr. Gallo.
Present.
Mr. Rose.
Here.
Mr. Bitler.
here,
All right, so I don't know, let's go back to page 8. So, in that first section, a bunch of sections, 410, 100, 101, 102, 103, all that stuff. A lot of numbers were thrown out, but we didn't really, lock anything in, really. So I guess chief, like, with the chief salary, what did you had,
So historically, the chief always got whatever the raise was the association was getting. So I just added it to whatever it was supposed to be in 2024.
and what, and is it?
You had
It was 6%,
134,
it was 6%. Yeah, 134, 550.
So you wanna we,
I mean, obviously you guys make it whatever you want.
You said it was 6%,
Yeah.
right?
are we all right to lock that in since that's a traditional thing, or what do we want to do with that? Well, we're just saying, do we wanna put that in as the number?
Before I make any comment, I'm gonna wait to see the overall budget, Chris.
Okay. Your other next big thing was the splitting the getting two sergeants, I guess, right?
Yeah, so if you guys would be willing, it was an extra little over $2,000 for it. Obviously, if that was the case, then the corporal salary would disappear out of the budget. And it would be if it was two sergeants, it would be $220,577.
So it's everybody's total now.
I think if we just plug them in, right?
Well, would
And
you
then we
wanna
can
get
see
rid
the
of,
end.
well, you wanna get rid of corporal and then have two sergeants?
Every time we just plug something in, Jeff, it seems to just slide through. That's been my.
No, I mean, like, if we put those numbers in, then we can look at the end of the overall budget, right? Like your comment was before, okay, I agree with that. I think you look at it overall, but you gotta put something in there, right? You can't just put zero.
Just because it's there doesn't mean that you guys are gonna have a promotion.
Right.
And promote somebody to sergeant.
I'm just saying, if we look at the overall in the end, after we have the numbers.
Well, I mean, you guys can do what you want, even in your budget, but, I think if you do that, and then you decide that, oh, you're gonna lose the corporal pay out of that process, or you're gonna end up doubling up the sergeant's salary and making the sergeant's, column, or line twice as much as it's gonna be. So, as according to what Jensen just said, it's what, a $2,000 jump?
It goes from 107 to 110.
I mean, it's not that significant that you don't absorb that somehow. Or just bump up the corporal salary to $2,000, and if you spend it, you spend it. What would you guys like to do?
Well, why don't we keep the corporal salary and then just bump that up and see what that does in the end, right? What you say, it was 110?
Well, let's make it 111 or 112.
It's 110, 288.
But then what about the two sergeants?
What we're saying, if you decide not to promote, then you
Right.
still have, if you decide to promote, you still have the money there.
But,
If you get rid of corporal and do sergeant, that money's still there from the corporal salary,
but it
right?
would have to be a little bit higher though, because sergeant would be more.
Well, no, the sergeant would be 110, 288. Right now, the
Same thing.
corporal salary on here is 107, 880.
Yeah. Alright, so we wanna change that to corporal, wanna keep the sergeant that one. And we're not changing the chiefs at this point, we're keeping that at 130 or 134,515.
Well, I mean, I think we should do the 6% increase at least, right? To have their, whether it's used or not, is one thing.
Alright, well, I guess we'll say 134,515, do the sergeant and corporal, we can change to that.
Yep. What do you guys want?
Well, he said, I mean, might as well just put in that 6% for the chief, the one
Okay. We'll leave, say, 134, 550.
One sergeant, one corporal, corporal could always backfill if something changed.
And you had the patrolman different too, right?
Yeah, I have the patrolman at 419, 948.
$119, $948.
Yeah.
where did the 419 come from now?
That's just the 6 officer salary, with the 6% increase.
Harold, where'd you get like the 9,500 additional there, or give or take, up to 428 for?
The 428,
Yeah, where that, like, what filled that 9,500 from his number up?
well, we're short,
Okay, I'm just asking.
we're short. So we were kind of adding in people we don't.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
Hopefully we buy higher them.
Yeah.
No,
Well, then you should probably keep the 428, 400 because you got a little buffer then.
That's up to you. That's for, so with everyone here, with the chief's salary and the sergeant's salary and the corporal's salary and the 4 patrol officers, that would be full complement of what we should have at that time.
That's including another officer.
Yeah,
you see the 419 included another officer.
that's for 4 officers.
Four.
Yeah.
It's 13, 428, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get 428, just, yeah.
And your part-time patrolman, you had what, 57?
Yeah. And I would like to rename that as for detective.
Still have a name thing change, that's fine. But what about
Yeah.
everybody?
So you were thinking about 38 an hour, right? So,
It needs at 67.
57.
57.
57.
Talking 57 there. What am I thinking?
and that kind of works.
57
What
there.
a regular full-time officer salary kind of lay out to be. That's part-time, right? That's fair.
Yeah, you've got 57 now, I guess the 410, 106, 106. The other thing, what do you have down for holidays? What screen did you just get?
What do we have for what?
Holidays.
Holidays.
I had 50K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have 0.
Somewhere along the line, we also come up with the number 64. All the holidays are paid at time and a half.
Yeah. So, with all the holidays, if you pay all the holidays out, it comes to around 64,000. But not everybody takes the holiday pay. A lot of them take the comp time. And where everybody's sitting right now, I would say that you probably be safe with 50,000 in the comp time. And the last couple of years, last year we did 40. The year before that, the chief counsel did 40. I don't think they ever went over.
Then you have to figure more into the comp time. They can catch that out almost any time.
Yeah, but it's not cashed out, so it's cashed out is straight.
Yeah, they would get time and a half for comp time.
No, they get their hourly rate.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make that 50? Yeah. Now, what else was new in that little section there? Get them all?
What was the vacation buyback?
Sick and, yeah, sick and vacation buyback, I have a month off.
So,
410, 150.
yeah, so for the vacation buyback, all the guys are pretty new here. I mean, nobody really has an Elliott or Castle bank of vacation. So I believe everybody would probably use it, but I budgeted for 40 hours for one officer in case they wanted to get paid out for one. As of this date, I don't believe anybody is getting any vacation paid out for this year, besides Swat who left. I think he has a day or two.
Half a day.
That's it.
The rest of it was comp.
So we had 10K, is that what you have on here, 10,000?
Yeah.
You said 2.
Did you say 2,000? Yeah, that's what I did.
two,
Feel pretty confident
That
to
was,
cover that.
I mean, that's 40 hours for one person. Not saying that two people are not gonna cash 40 hours, but with them having limited vacation, everybody's young, everybody likes to do things, they use a lot of their comp time, I would imagine they're probably all gonna burn through their vacation time.
So you want sick and vacation 2 and 2? Or you just want vacation 2?
No, the sick time buyout will be 16,051. That's if nobody calls in sick for 2026.
How many sick days are there year to date?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
17.
so you want that, what,
16,051.
16,050?
You're just running 17.
60,000
16,500.
Yeah, 65.
Now 16,500. Do you think comp time there, that 25 would be all right?
That's the one that might get me. It's an unfunded liability, that's what Dennis always said. I did 480 hours at a full-time officer's rate next year, which will come to a little over 23,000. Nobody could cash any out. Somebody could go and buy a house again and need money and need their cash out of it.
Yeah, because this year to date right now, it's 31, and we're approaching 25. Right? So
If all the comp time was cash out, how much would it be?
Off the top of my head.
The 31 is, we had two people contract comp time, and we had Sheldon leave, so he gets cash out of his comp time. So I throw that number up to 31.
So that included the 31.
It should be included in it.
No, we're keeping it at 25, or we rolling the dice at 25, or we going up?
But, I mean, in 24 it was 16.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, our year to date is 24,958.40. So, you know, kind of a balance there is at 25. Take a crapshoot, you know.
You're like 25.
No, so page 9, like you said, you had the police education materials, 1,500, change that, so we're gonna do that. So rifle repair, no big deal, you're gonna change the name to weapon repair, I don't think anybody cares about that, right? Nope. Yeah, the other one was the medical premium opt-out. What was the difference there? 410, 315.
So that's 29.5.
What is it, March
24,
24?
344. That's based on 5 with
That's
your
based
admin.
on 5 officers and the admin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we kind of made a little bit of adjustment here, only because anybody's life circumstances could change at any point, and they could end up taking medical. So we included, I think, 2 people on the medical, as opposed to just 1, just to be safe. So, you know, it's,
So we're saying.
if we throw in the medical opt-out number, it's gonna be much lower than the actual cost of.
So you're saying 29.5 is,
You think it should be 29.5 versus what we have here, 24.4.
ours says 24.4.
For medical opt-out?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to say that, I'm the line below. It's 24.4.
Well, do we want to do 29.5?
And that's what, just one more
One
officer?
more officer.
You have to anticipate.
Right.
You have to anticipate.
Yeah, that's an if thought.
If it turns out to be 24, 23 or something, that is, I guess we make that 29.5, right?
Yeah.
other stuff down further with the odd triangle and the Ford F-150. Are they gonna go away? Are we gonna try to sell them, or?
What line item?
393, 394.
392, 393, whatever.
393 and 394.
92.
Oh, I'm sorry, 392 and 393.
That is marked here.
Yeah, I mean, we're stuck with them being on here until we get rid of them. And keep in mind, any proceeds of that is gonna go much further up in the budget with, sold, capital, property.
With what?
Those, if they're sold, they go into a different line item, back up into the general fund.
Right.
So right now, we're just gonna keep that in there?
1,500 each. 1,500 each, it's not hurting to sit there.
There was nothing else on that page, right? Ten, you were getting rid of a couple things. Like 410-704 gone, 410-707 gone.
410, 423. Harold had 3,000 and you had proposed 1,500 for travel. It's not much, but it's noted.
Well, I think we have the year-end estimate at 1,600 and proposed 3,000.
And we're at 1,400 right now.
Yeah, almost 1,400, yeah. But I think we're gonna have some, that's gonna go up a little bit, these guys will just away for a week each, so.
So what was your number, Jason?
15.
I had 15.
You want 15?
2?
It doesn't matter, if you wanted
2 maybe? 2?
that's fine.
We're down to 2.
Yes.
Traffic.
And Capital Minor had a note. You had requested 5.
Which was capital purchase?
Capital Minor, we don't want. I think you had said 5 and we have 3.
And we changed that the other day to 5.
Did we confirm it?
To 5.
That's right. Traffic comes in 80 days.
And then the computer hardware too.
3,000 for
3,000.
Cody, because there's an upgrade.
So we change that.
We change it.
I don't know exactly,
So that's already, that changed already to 3?
Either 4, you made it 3.
Harold, that's already changed to 3?
yes.
The only thing I would say is, the board, you're gonna have to decide what you wanna do for the capital purchase, with the new vehicle, if we wanna buy that new vehicle. Do you actually want it in your line? I believe Harold put it in your line first. I just had a 25,000 and I had a 72 in the notes section. I don't know what you would wanna do with that. Now, that grant, we're obviously gonna file, by November 30th. But we don't know if we're gonna get it,
Right.
obviously.
So I would say we should keep the 72 in that line item, just in case, right? We don't.
I mean, if you don't, we're kind of up against it. If you-
Right. If we get the grant, then great, you know.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a lease thing too.
Yeah,
Lease,
it's like a lease to own after 3 years.
which saves that number, so.
Yeah.
There's nothing else on that page, right? And otherwise an 11, there wasn't.
Well, we even got to 11, did we?
No,
I think it's already stopped.
no, just 11's fire.
Yeah.
Fire department. Well, it's 6:51, it's a good place to stop, right? So we can, anyone like to make a motion to adjourn the budget meeting at
Do you have any questions from anybody out there? Ultimately, it'd be nice to put some of these drafts on the website. Anybody have any questions?
motion to adjourn at 6:51?
I will make that motion.
Need a second? How's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's handled? In charge of reporting?
I'm like a backup quarterback.
Oh, audible.
Yeah. I guess I'm like, no one's hurt.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
How are the honey sales going?
Yeah.
So I guess now it's kind of shutting down. Okay.
Yeah, they as it gets colder, the queen slows down laying,
Right.
and then they backfill those open spots in honey, theoretically, game laying. And then they'll just cluster and hibernate. Hopefully, I got them in a good position over winter. Last year was terrible. Nationwide, it was terrible.
What happened? Just like the winter was tough.
Yeah, because it's counterintuitive, but a mild winter is not good because they're more active. More active means they need more calories.
I guess I get that.
Not for them to do, not for them to forage. Really mild winter, and it's cold, so it's like brutal.
Potential like step down food is.
Right.
Makes sense, yeah.
It's crazy. They keep the hive at all times 95 degrees.
Okay, that's cool.
Right?
Right. So you leave them as is.
You know, a lot of people get like a thermal fog.
Right.
So they spread it all because the queen needs like 95 degrees in there to stay healthy. So, but last year the overwinter rate nationwide was 50%. 50% of hives, yeah. So I lost a hive over the like late summer. It was like my best friend. I was like, yeah. But sometimes when they're so good, then problems really hit them. So it's like they have like a little satellite imagery. You see like a hive here, and you can
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
But it's weird because like you can't be a perfectionist beekeeper because no matter what you're gonna do.
It's just kind of hands off.
Yeah.
Make sure they're.
A lot of times they're taking the time to get the finest thing, you know.
Like who's
They're good. Yeah.
I was thinking fast.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I got some plans for next year, but this year's a little tough.
Yeah.
With the new baby and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So no sleep, lots of coffee.
4 months. 4 months. Starting to sleep a little longer at night.
Then your first,
Second.
second. So you kind of know what you're doing.
Well, I've got a toddler that's learned how to talk back, so that's fun.
Welcome to every kid out there.
Yeah, right.
Right home. Tom was never taught back.
Is that the secret?
That's the English way of stuff. Chinese
combination.
I love you, where's your lips? Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
The movie.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. That's when you should be writing down what they're saying.
You know what he said to me the other day? My jaw dropped. So I said to him, hey buddy, we gotta go do X, Y, and Z. And I take him to the bar with me, so I just go run some errands. And he literally said to me, don't bother me with emails.
But that's smart though.
And it's so, because it's in context. You know where I got it from? Apparently Frosty the Snowman.
Oh, really?
He watched the little, and then someone says it in there.
Like the old school Frosty?
Yeah.
Where is that in the movie? Now I'm really
I
curious.
think it's the professor.
Still makes no sense.
With the hat.
Now I got
Yeah.
just
He told me that's where he got it from, so I gotta double check.
Yeah.
You
Sure about that?
Yeah. Because with YouTube now, you just pull those things up and you know.
And they did change that attitude, at least people follow me.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to laugh. Yeah, it's just like, like, that's not okay, buddy, don't talk to me that way.
Honestly, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's like, you know,
You can't be there when you're.
Yeah, right. He can tell me stories.
Yeah.
He summarizes like, he can tell me the plot, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Mobilization.
Yeah.
yeah.
$300 is low.
Yeah, he's an animal.
That's awesome.
He's hilarious.
Racket sounds like my.
I think it's to be honest, we got one of the charge reader to bring it back. I said, well, if you can figure out how to do yesterday.
I mean, I miss seeing it, different stuff, seeing the world through those eyes. Because you're like, oh yeah, look how pretty that cloud is. You know, look at that, you know, that is cool colors. And now, like, you know, just keep track. That's all we care about.
Well, apparently, he said to my dad, like, you can't play with Mr. Potato Head. And my dad said, why can't I play with him? Because he has, they're two, right? So if you want three, try and teach him to share, and he goes, because you're too old.
Wow, that's a good one. You tell them that when you tell them when Taylor was actually introduced.
Yeah, right. Never too old to play.
Yeah.
And,
You gotta play, right?
yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you make up and stuff. Like you actually have to do it. You just gotta do it. Yeah. But it's always like you gotta do two ways and these.
Right.
Everything from 7 o'clock.
I hope you're not doing good job, because I was using that.
Clock is slow.
No, it's at 7, we're just waiting for.
Your statement.
I know how, it's 7, it's still officially 7. Yeah, there it is, it's 7.
Yeah, really. Wait,
All right, we will call the October 21st, 2005, regular Robeson Township Board of Supervisors to order at 7 o'clock. We'll do a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence for all military personnel.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Mr. Joy. Present. Mr. Joy. Mr. Rhodes.
Here.
Mr. Bittler.
Here.
And I'm here. All right. You got any citizens concerns? Really? Oh, you can go first, and your name and address, please.
My name is Heather Steele, 1618 Rock Hollow Road. Okay. And as a taxpayer, I'm resident for about 20 years. And as a taxpayer, I entrust you, the Board of Township Supervisors, with the duty of spending our taxpayer money for the benefit and betterment of our community needs. Services such as police, fire, road crew, and general well-being of the community are huge responsibilities that require significant money and time investment. I have a lot of respect for those of our community, whether paid or volunteer, because they dedicate much of their lives to providing service to others. Full respect and thank you to everyone who contributes to our township. With that respect, I am here tonight to express a serious concern that I have, that I believe every taxpayer in this township should know about. My question is regarding Gibraltar Fire Company. This company receives a significant amount of taxpayer money to provide the service of fire protection to our community. This may include actual fires, but also accidents and other emergency incidents within the township. I have noticed over many years that Gibraltar Fire fails to provide these services a significant amount of times in which they are called upon. I've heard that nearly 90% of the calls that come into the station are scratched, which means no one responds, and surrounding companies are called to respond. Geigertown Fire Company, who also receives funds, responds to nearly 100% of all the township calls that come in, including medical calls. Why do both companies receive the same taxpayer funding when there is a huge discrepancy in services being provided? I would like to know why Gibraltar fails so significantly. Where are their members and officers? What is their training schedule? What are they doing to obtain new members? I know personally they have turned away potential members and have driven others to resign for no reason, fully qualified and competent adults. Where is the money going? They receive a significant amount from taxes, along with their weekly dinners, the bar, the yearly meetups, and other fundraisers that they do throughout the year. But where is all of that money? It's not being used to pay drivers. It's not being used for recruitment or upkeep of apparatus, as there's currently a piece of apparatus sitting unworking right now. But where is that money going? Who is also responsible for making decisions and pre-planning emergency situations on this side of the township? Gibraltar is MIA for all intents and purposes. I also know that Gibraltar has been approached to allow members of Geigertown and the township road crew members who are extremely qualified to operate the emergency equipment to have access to the building. This would allow a timely response to this side of the township, yet those requests have been ignored and unanswered. This is not a new or novel subject to the board. This issue has been ongoing for many years, yet nothing has been done, and no improvements or ideas to resolve this situation have been addressed. I fear that one day my family or a local neighbor will need fire service, and I fear the delay in response could cause irreversible damage and harm. I am here to go on record to voice my concern and hopefully make others aware of the seriously inadequate fire protection on this side of the township, all while they are actively soliciting money for alleged use of fire department funds. Again, where's the money going? I'd like to know what this board is going to do about the situation. Why are they still receiving taxpayer funds that are not being providing services? And whether that's direct funds, they are also being covered under workman's comp. They get money from the state that comes in the fireman's relief. So money may not be directly going to them from you, because I've heard that money has been held because receipts are not being shown for where that money is going. But they are still receiving money, and they are still receiving, the community believes that they are providing fire services, and they are not. That is a huge issue. If my house was to catch fire, the firefighters on this side of the township have to drive all the way over to Geigertown to get equipment to drive back. I have a 10-year-old child who now I have to wait an extended amount of time. I know for a fact, I have a friend who a few years ago had a chimney fire. Gibraltar did get off the floor. They were the first ones there and stood next to the equipment. And I had to explain to him why, when the fire truck showed up, nobody did anything. They had to wait for backup to come to actually put out the fire. That is a huge concern of mine in this township. It's a concern that it's been an issue for an extended period of time. It is a concern that it is public on Facebook. Anybody can find it. It is a concern that people posting on Facebook are not even members of this township and are making comments to the validity of that fire company, and they don't even live in this township. I think that is something that this board seriously needs to discuss. I think politics need to be put aside, and the betterment and the safety of our community is priority. So if it's because there are personal connections, you need to act on behalf of the citizens of this township, the taxpayers who are expecting services to be provided, and not your own personal.
Now, I have a question for Errol here. Now, since it's budget season, did you come up with numbers on how much the Gibraltar's got?
The Central Class Township Code requires the fire companies to provide us with a list of monies they're requesting for the next
And they
year.
have not done that.
We have not received any responses from anyone.
So,
But in the past, the only monies they've received is for A, a truck payment, or B, a repair to one of the vehicles. We just don't give them cash.
and now, Colin, I have a question for you. So since this has come up before, and we've asked them to appear and discuss the concerns that are out there
Sure.
by many, and they have never responded to us as requested. What would be the next step to get them so we can discuss this and
I think you really have two remedies, neither of which is really, sufficient to make them respond to fires, but that's obviously withholding the funds or revoking their run card and rerouting those funds to another company, presumably that could better serve this side of town.
Here's the sad part, okay? I went there, I had the discussion, because we've had the discussion multiple times. I have requested it 3 or 4 times to look, make sure that Geigertown has access, okay? They have access. I posted that on Facebook, okay? Scott came back and said, no, that's not it, okay? But when I'm told something, I'm gonna believe people at face value until you prove me different. You know what I mean? So,
Okay, well now,
you're right, I'm not disagreeing with what you said, but I didn't know till he told me they didn't have it. But you have to, what's on this side of town, there's no reason they can't have access to it.
I agree with you,
And
and
that
that's
way
what I'm
it's
saying
here.
is there have been suggestions
Oh, yeah.
to better provide that are being
Agreed.
denied. So the parties that are in control of those decisions, who are they and why are they not making any appearances? Because that's an issue that if you are trying to open communication with somebody and they are refusing to communicate, that's a problem. Communication is a two-way street, and if
It
you are
is.
refusing to be part of the communication,
You're
then
part
you
of the
don't have a
problem.
say, then you don't have a say in what happens. If they've been offered opportunities, and I'm here tonight, I know it's an open forum, they can come in, they've been invited by several members, I'm sure, many times over the years. Then why aren't they here? And if you don't have, if they're not willing to come and put a foot forward to say, yes, we want to do well, we want to be better, then they're giving you your answer. No answer is an answer, and their answer is, they don't care. There's nothing here.
This isn't necessarily a response to Heather's statement, but another remedy that residents have is to use the right to know law process to try and request documents from the fire company, because I believe that as a company that accepts taxpayer funds, they're subject to, in certain instances, they're subject to right to know law requests.
But remember something, only because I've had to find this out from prior. You have the social quarters, which is not really the fire company. Now, Geigertown has no social quarters, so let's make it clear, because there's a definite line between social quarters, which they run the dinners and all that out of, and their chicken barbecues or whatever, and their food truck, whatever. I understand what you're saying, but they're two separate things. So we could gain control of the fire company, from my understanding, and yes,
Well-
you're right to know,
Well,
but
the fire company is a distinct private entity as a nonprofit, but because it accepts public funds, in a certain sense, it is quasi-public. And so it does fall under right to know, but ultimately, if the township is not happy with the service that's being provided, the two options are to change how you fund it or revoke the run card.
I mean, I think the issue lies in the leadership there, in my opinion. And the lack thereof leadership.
Can you say that again?
I said, I think the issue, in my opinion, lies in the lack of leadership there, right? Because I could name, I'm not going to, but I could name 5 or 6 qualified individuals that are within 2 to 3 minutes of that fire company that could have a truck out in 4 minutes, right?
and that's
So,
why,
so
why can't we just get them to share?
your leverage in getting them to cooperate is to send a letter saying that, look, if service doesn't improve, the township is considering revoking the run card. And if that doesn't get them to the table, nothing may.
Well,
To piggyback on what he's saying, I mean, you guys can put out a letter.
please,
I'm sorry,
name please.
Wayne Steele. You could put out a 30-day notice for a PIP, performance improvement plan. Bring us a performance improvement plan in 30 days, or we're revoking your run card. That would give the board and the other responders in this township time to come up with a plan on how they're gonna handle it. The second thing I would ask is, maybe it's time for you to just take a look and say, for right now, until this is rectified, you're gonna use the command structure for Geigertown Fire Company to make the decisions for Robeson Township right now until everything is settled and, you know, everything is hashed out, because we feel there's no representation over here.
We'd like to tell you we don't understand what we do.
I-
That's the
I've
hard
been
part.
here, I've been
Yeah,
here.
I've gone up there and asked
I've
and
been here,
requested.
and I know,
I
I know
feel frustrated.
everybody at that table has pretty much tried at one point. I know, Harold, when you were in, you tried, I was here in those meetings.
Well, now, now today's October 21st, I mean, let's try to come up with something, if we wanna be that, I guess, bold and stern about stuff. Do we have Harold send a letter tomorrow? And I don't know if we wanna do something for the workshop or the regular meeting, and put in here about his budget season, and say, you need to make your faces shown, I don't know how you wanna word it, but the two options, I'm assuming we agree with this, the two options the townships are considering would be get rid of funding and or get rid of the run card. And this is a perfect time, and the year's coming, I mean, if you wanna be that bold.
But I agree with them, I think you give them an option to provide.
Now, what date, you wanna do the workshop the 13th, or you wanna do the regular meeting the 18th?
Maximum months if you go the 18th or close enough to the month. That way, you know,
When you gonna do it?
Well, we wanna send them a letter
By
that
the
says
18th.
they need to, if we wanna do the,
Okay, well, what do you want the response
well, and by the regular
Well,
meeting,
we're
November
talking
18th,
18th.
by? November 18th.
which should be the regular meeting next month. No, we didn't, so, we want it, so if we all agree, then you do the letter, send it to them hopefully tomorrow, or Thursday, say about the two options, no funds, no run
or
card.
reason not to give
Bring,
them the third
bring
option.
some plan to us by November 18th, or else, because it's budget season, and this is a perfect time to take care of things.
Like I said,
Okay.
about people right
Does
around.
everybody agree with that?
We're,
Yeah, I'm throwing the third piece in and saying, there's no reason while this, trying to get this, that they can't give them the code to get in the door.
Well, that's,
I'm doing my best to abstain from this
I know you
conversation, because I'm in a very sticky spot.
Well, because-
They own that property, they own that building, they own that apparatus, I understand that it's covered. The apparatus is covered under our liability insurance, the inland marine covers the contents of the apparatus, which they pay for, because Geigertown pays for. I don't believe the township could force them to let someone else in that door, and I'm not comfortable allowing
I
my
think the
guys
motion
to.
originally wanted.
Yeah.
I agree, Scott, I agree,
Yeah,
Scott.
and that makes sense, I just
Well,
asked,
then I'll make a
about it.
motion to do exactly what I said, Harold
Yeah.
has the letter, has those two things on here, and they have to get stuff to us by November 18th meeting.
Can I
You know
also,
those things.
can I also interject and kind of say that I really think that the command structure at Geigertown should be overlooking the entire township for right now until you have that meeting, and then, you know, for at least a 30-day period, to see what their response is, because again,
we pseudo already are, since
That's
they're
what's
not
happening.
I
responding.
mean, my motion's those two things, I mean, that other things I think.
So can I ask,
Okay.
like, the right to know law, how would I
Okay,
contact?
we'll get back to that after, since I made the motion.
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
thank you, I'm sorry, my apologies.
So I made a motion for that, anyone want to second that?
I'll second the motion.
All right, roll call, Mrs. Joy,
Yes,
Mr. Gallow,
Sarah, would you-
Harold's gonna send a letter.
I'm gonna abstain from that one, just because of my.
Okay, Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Goodman.
Yes.
Yes. All right, now, ask your question now.
I was just saying the right to know, like, how I would have access to like, whatever records you just.
go into the township building,
Appreciate
the
it.
ladies will help you with no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron, real quick, I'm not sure if you're aware, if you could check, originally, speaking to the run cards, previously, it was up to the chief of each department. So I set ours, they set theirs. There is an option for the manager to,
Currently, the way.
is that how it is?
Currently, the manager decides to run those.
Okay. I think opinion, that is the first step, is they are the original cards from 2015-ish, 16, when the county implemented the new CAD system. I had reached out to the county based on some concerns with the way things were dispatched, and that's where I learned they have not been updated for 10 years. Apparatus, fire trucks on those cards that are no longer in service and maybe scrapped at this point still reside, which causes in county CAD, they're like, ooh, what is that? We don't have that. And then it goes around to the next piece. So it ends up drawing somebody from Amity or Birdsboro or Union or Exeter in. I think a very simple fix is those run cards need updated. I'm not asking you to do it because it's not fun. I will offer, if the board's okay, to assist you or whoever with that update, with the current apparatus, with the current time and distance studies from the county, and at least start that process to fix that piece, because I will stay, as much as I'm trying to stay out of this, we have several neighboring departments that are very upset about the call volume into this township. And,
Would we need a motion if we would have them help?
I would just wanna take that request under advisement. I don't want you to get.
I'm offering to assist Harold and whoever wants to be part of it with getting that dispatch piece fixed.
I personally don't have a problem with that.
Well, we don't.
And
we don't
obviously
know how
Harold and the EMS chief from Tower Direct would need to sign off on those before they could become live. So I'm not sitting at home just doing what I want to do. And the county actually has a pretty good protocol with, I know when I submitted my last update, they kicked back, why did you do this and not that? And I would say, well, that department has 2 paid drivers Monday through Friday between 7 and 5, their response time is quicker because they were further away.
I don't have any issue if the board wants to make that motion. I only ask that it be done subject to my review and approval.
And the last piece I would add was, we have had a department refuse to come in to the township and cover them for all intents and purposes because they don't believe they should be at this point. It's too much of a burden on them.
Which department is that?
Exeter.
So Exeter no longer comes to.
No, they will.
No.
They will. If they're dispatched on the initial first 2 dispatch, so this building was on fire. They're coming. They're not gonna deny that. They are, lack of better terms, fed up with having to come over to this side, Schuylkill Road, to pick up a tree branch covering Gibraltar because they didn't respond. And our response time, everything's uphill from that end of the township. Our response, and we don't go immersion speed to a tree branch or a wire down on Schuylkill Road. We come. Well, just because you live there doesn't make it better. But that is where, obviously Exeter has paid staffing. They have a grant staff program. There's people there all the time. So if we're dispatched to Schuylkill Road for a tree in the road, they will beat us there from our end of the township.
But Scott, don't the run cards determine who should respond to what first? Isn't there?
They do. So
Depends on a lot of variables, right?
this is a rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables in what they.
What
determine.
started the question that I got the info was, why are we the only required piece of fire apparatus to come to this side of the township? That is because apparatus from Gibraltar no longer exists that is remaining on those cards. So let's example brush 23-3.
Got it.
That is no longer a fire truck in CAD.
Got it.
So when it goes, CAD suggests brush 23-3. CAD goes, there is none. It goes to next due. We're on it already, which would be brush 25 out of Exeter.
Even though Gibraltar has other fire trucks that it could use.
Correct.
Right.
And that is where the card update would be, we're gonna remove 23-3 and make it brush 23. Now, whether they respond or don't,
Okay, so
I think the card update is really,
A start to
Step
make
one.
things
Would you
better.
like to make the motion the way you think it should be?
He really doesn't wanna do that.
Motion.
I'm offering to help.
Yeah, that's it. Leave yourself out of it.
I don't like being in the spot, but I will help,
Well,
because it affects everyone.
okay, go ahead.
Motion to have the manager start to update the run cards, pending solicitor review approval.
Alright, I'll make the motion to have the manager start looking at and updating the run cards per the solicitor's review and approval.
And I'll second
Roll call, Mrs. Joy,
it, yes.
Mr. Gallow,
I'll abstain.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bitler,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
And finally, we should make a motion just to amend the agenda to include those motions as a record.
Okay, we wanna make, well, first of this, we gotta, alright, I'll make a motion to amend the agenda with the discussion of fire companies. Anyone like to second that motion?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we have to give any time for anybody to respond to that change in agenda. Okay. Then. That's it, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, we voted on it, so.
Yeah, so there's no comment.
Harold has to repost the agenda.
Okay.
Otherwise, no action needs to be taken.
It might be nice to be called one.
It has most of what I said on it.
Sure, you gotta get the phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Paula's the one who does your right to know anyway, so it will make her life easier when she has to go adjust
Thank you.
what she's listening to.
Harold, do you have contact with Brian Gottschall?
I do.
Okay, he would, him and, Nelson Lopez from the county would show proof for the record. They should be able to give you copies and then time and distance studies and all that documentation, and then work from there.
I'm sure Brian is glad to be here from.
And did you have something in comment on this, or?
What?
No, I was on,
Yeah, I have a question.
all right, well, name and address, please.
Robert Dees, 1217 Lake Road. I was here last month and made a complaint about my neighbor racing.
Oh, so this is a new citizens complaint?
Yeah, this
This isn't
ain't
anything
about-
about the fire?
no.
All right, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
About racing, I thought motorcycles, and here we found out it's go-karts. If the township had looked into it, and if they plan on doing anything about it.
And what's the update on that, Harold? I have not heard that.
Yeah, we heard that last month.
I don't know if there are any updates.
As far as I know, Ted did send a letter of inquiry as to what they were doing out there. But I've not heard anything back, and I, be honest with you, I didn't think they asked me that. We were a little busy in the office, so he was there. But I can follow up with Ted and see whether he's, gone anywhere, let you guys know,
Yeah, let us know, because is that all the time?
It's usually Sundays. And it shakes the whole house when they run, especially certain, like, whichever they're using is a 4-cycle, and it just rattled everything.
All right, Harold, let us know what the,
I'll let you know when he lets me know.
any other citizens concerns? All right, if no others, we got Harold, correspondence.
Correspondence, we, went over the thank you letter, actually, the resident was actually in here, regarding the paving out on, Boyer, Widener and France and, I forget which other one was. What a great job they did, and was very appreciative of it. Having said that, we've had several reports of speeding on that road, and, Jason has requested we put in a post so they can put their speed limit sign out there to flash and let you know how fast you're going. And we can also allow do the speed study, and as well as, reminding everybody what the speed limit should be. And then we also received a thank you letter from Carol Donahue from the Village Library, thanking us for our contribution.
All right, anything else, Harold?
Nothing else in the correspondence.
Keep them big.
First thing I have on the agenda is the new officer applications. Last week we spoke and possibly having somebody go to the academy and try to recruit some of the new officers. We reached out to Rosa, and unfortunately, all of the cadets in the academy are already hired. So with that, the background packets were sent out to the people who applied, and they have to the 31st to get them back to us, and then we'll start the background and start the official process. Next thing I have, grant applications. So we just received an email from the LSA grant that it was assigned to, well, one of the grants for the tasers for $46,673 was assigned to an analyst, and the grant application will be up for consideration in the January 14th. So I believe that is probably pretty good news. And that's all I have.
I sent you another grant on vests today.
Oh, and we did file a grant for another PDT. we haven't heard back from them, hopefully we get back as well.
All right, finances, Harold.
Monthly expenses, you guys have in your packet, as well as the profit and loss for the month. We just went over budget.
All right, now I can make a motion for the monthly expenses, treasurer's report, and sewer agent report.
I will make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gall,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
Another yes. All right, Harold.
Okay, so we have the, Gaja appointment of, Nelson Pot, which is left over from the last meeting. We painstakingly spent most of our day, Paul and I both, trying to figure out who was appointed to what and when.
Yeah, because that was the problem at the
Why don't
workshop.
you just
where
call,
Tom-
why don't you call Union?
What's that?
The lady out at Union knows.
Because union states are incorrect. According to the original document, there were one person appointed for 1 year, one person appointed for 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years, and 5 years. It is impossible for two people to be expiring on the same day. It's absolutely impossible.
Well, she just explained it and said, hey, we got it straight.
And then, yeah, they don't.
Well,
And then the
thanks,
other
God.
problem we had when we went back to the original documents was union appointed everybody an extra year. So like, it started in 2010, but they didn't start their appointments really until 2011 because they gave them 5 years from 2011. So that's off, and they stopped their board at December the 31st. Well, you're appointed until the next reorganization meeting. So we did something even worse, is we appointed these people, gave the terms, but no expiration dates. And it turns out we could not find any documentation where Roger Feed was reappointed after he was appointed the first time. So, needless to say, we spent a lot of time on this, and we're not quite finished. We will finish our research and we will get a hold of Deb from Union and review it, but she also agrees that it's impossible for two people to expire on the same date.
Okay.
So Peg is now going to be your Robeson person instead.
Was trying to figure that out only because the motion, and once again, this was not done correctly either, the motion that you guys made appointing her to the Robeson side should have been done in the way of a resolution. And the resolution should have stated the date that she was, or the term she was filling. So Peg was in the term serving both boards, which expires in 26. But she moved into a spot that I once held, which actually expired last year. So, well, like I said,
You have to work that through
Put
with
it on the
that,
agenda for
with
next month.
Union.
well, I'll put it on the agenda for next month, but we're spending a tremendous
Too
amount
much
of
time.
time on this, and we were ready to just throw our hands up in the air and reappoint everybody for terms and call it a day. Nancy Beaton seems to be the only person that's actually in a spot that she belongs.
All right.
You have to put those together. We had nothing to do with that one.
All right, what's the update on
That's a
that?
God's
Okay.
nightmare.
You guys are familiar with the applications, and we're at with that. We've initiated interviews, and hopefully we'll have them done before the end of the week. All sewer transaction, all bills and checks written for the sewer RTMA will be now issued and signed by the RTMA board starting January the 1st. That's the way it was for years. Somebody decided to change it. The lease actually calls for them to pay their own bills, and not the township. It makes more sense because if they're paying their bills, they're seeing what they're spending and they're more accountable. You guys have no idea what a muffin monster is and why we would bill anyone.
What is a muffin monster?
You don't really want me to describe that.
No, that would be slightly inappropriate. Appreciate
I'll just say
that.
it's a grinder pump of sorts. New Linux update. Things seem to be moving forward. He anticipates getting everybody's bill out by November the 1st. Along with that will go the letter that I sent to all you guys for review. And hopefully we're up in running. Now, the next item, I thought we took care of this, but we could not find anything in the minutes to reflect it. But we need a motion to release the escrow of $33,519.66 for the Kurtz estate.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it turns out we talked about it, but nobody has a motion that actually says to release that fund. I thought it was there too, but.
So you're looking for a motion to release that?
We also need a motion to release the escrow for the Phillips estate, which we also talked about the last meeting, because I had to question whether the money went with the property or the person provided it.
If all is in order, I'll make a motion to release the escrow of Stephen Kurtz estate in the amount of $33,519.66.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy.
Yes.
Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
Robert, yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to release the escrow in the amount of $36,571.15 to Phyllis Louth estate.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy.
Yes.
Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Robert, yes.
What about Mr. Bell?
And, Mr. Bitler.
I'll vote yes.
There's no vote. Yeah.
Last one.
Okay, we need a motion to correct the 2026 MMO from resolution 2025-21 to 25-23.
Sure,
Why is that?
Yeah.
We inadvertently misnumbered from another resolution that we thought we were gonna pass and did not.
I'll make the motion to correct resolution 25-21 to 25-23.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy.
Yes.
Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Yes.
Mr. Bitler.
Yes.
Robert, yes.
And not for everyone's favorite topic,
You're right.
the traffic light at 724.
Everyone's favorite thing. Hey, it was moving better today, if that means anything to anybody.
What's that?
It was actually moving better today, if
Okay.
that means anything to anybody.
So,
This morning.
so we did get the time study done, the time study information was implemented into the control panel, and it still wasn't working right. So I called them back, and, you know, I was really adamant about the fact that, hey, either they need to fix it, I'll find them if they can. And, they sent somebody out, and this guy noticed that one of the push buttons, the cross the street pedestrian buttons, was sticky. So they were supposed to be out today to replace all of the buttons until they got it. So that's where we're at. I'm not positive that we're out of the water on that. But in lieu of that, take a list of volunteers who will show up to the office at 4:30. I'll give them the key and they can go up and manually let people through.
Yeah, I don't think so. 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, I actually had a guy call me and say, hey, I hope you don't mind, I've been down here directing traffic for half an hour.
Do it for
You know what,
prevailing
if you're
wage.
up at 4:30 and that happens, I think that was really nice of them. I just finished
Ah,
4:30.
another great topic, Rock Hollow Bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge is well under construction.
Gone.
The deck is gone. They were cutting the supports for either side today. Hopefully they'll have them done tomorrow. As thick as the walls were, they probably won't be done until Friday. They're setting the steel next week. So I talked to the guy out there and they think it's very doable for the Champagne on New Year's Eve. Allegheny Creek Day, we had to cancel the Columbus Day cleaning of the debris. And he's gonna get back to us, with a, new date. Overland Road, 724, 516 bridge closure. We posted the information on the website so everybody get used to the idea. We haven't heard anything back from Marvin, have we?
No.
Okay, so we are waiting back from the state, I'll say advisor, to provide us with the information on how to install traffic calming. I don't know if everybody saw the videos of the accident that was there at Cypher Drive, and everybody went down Overland Road. And somebody posted a picture and said, this is what we have to look forward to when the bridge goes down. And we're hoping to not have that happen.
There was a lot of fire police all over the road that day. I could hear them. Every resident was out there in traffic.
So, and I don't blame them, I mean, it's a lot of traffic for low road like that. And then the Green Hills Open Hall, we met last night, and we are getting a resolution drawn up to allow us to bill the people at Green Hills Estates. Otherwise, we get for the waste that we've received as a result of them terminating our agreement with the corporate.
So we haven't billed them yet?
We have not, we needed a resolution to do that, I was like,
Alright. So anybody have any updates for the little, our sections here, the supervisors reports?
Nope, my answer was it was $156 for a year, that's where I left it.
Okay. Sergeant, did you
you know, once again, a reminder that funding requests have not been received from the fire companies.
Ah, wait a minute, but
To that point, maybe I was just ignorant to it. We have never did it. Not saying we can't do it. We've never requested it, so that's fine. I will
I
get
think
you
you
on.
did and didn't know it, I know for years.
Well, no, it was individual requests, not for the budget.
I think for years, like Clint used to send out emails saying, hey, what do you guys want? And you would send a bill saying, hey, we got this, cause you guys always used it for,
Well,
Truck
normally,
payments.
yeah, so there's the March-ish one, and then I normally right about now, which I have some stuff to give you, that's kind of where we kind of finish up. But yeah, I'll give you a projected idea of 2026.
a simple email, I mean, that's,
No problem.
okay,
something to throw in the packet and say, we got the request.
Perfect.
okay, now. $167,488.30.
What?
You guys got a grant for that?
We did.
So we're on fire companies, you might as well explain.
FEMA does a grant every year, Assistance to Firefighters grant. We applied for new thermal imaging cameras, and gas meters. We hosted the grant, partnered with Reading Fire Department and Adamstown Fire Department. We were notified last week by FEMA. You have it written on it? They are awarding $167,480.30. Now that is to split between the three departments. Obviously, Reading Fire Department is going to take a largest chunk of that.
The lion's share.
Us and Adamstown are kind of like right here, but it's gonna probably put $50,000 to $60,000 worth of equipment in our apparatus out of that.
So is that for thermal imaging?
Thermal imaging and the gas meters, new gas meters. So the way FEMA laid out the project, we should see 2 thermal imaging cameras and 5 gas meters. They actually, FEMA overshot how much they gave everybody. Now there is a new, there is a new thing out there. So we had a grant writer, Bill Van Etten did it for us. Guy is amazing, and the grant writing fee is refundable. With an award, FEMA used to say, okay, we gave you 167, you spent 120. You guys have that much, you guys have that, buy what you want with it, just give us invoices. The new FEMA director said anything over $9,999.99, we want back. So we were advised to, when you purchase the meters, get the rubber case for it. get the extra charger.
Spend your money, in other words.
Try to do your best and
Get the
they-
equipment you
Utilize
need.
your money in the best way possible.
basically with enough pressure from the state of Pennsylvania, departments, they may break out of that. So there actually may be some additional money available, but
What gases does the meter read?
it's gonna read carbon monoxide, LEL levels, oxygen levels.
Thank you.
It depends on the meter we purchase. There's 4 gas, 5 gas.
So you could purchase a couple different ones to get
We could,
across.
yeah, the only thing we had to agree to do a regional grant, which was us Reading Fire and Adamstown, was we were gonna purchase from the same vendor. Cause FEMA loves bulk purchasing, cause it saves them money. So we'll be using the Vol Safety, which was the old Mid-Atlantic Fire, but.
That's good news.
Okay, we have minutes and reports, and I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes and reports in our possession.
Sure. I'll make the motion to accept the minutes and reports in our possession as they are.
Do we have a second? I'll second, roll call, Mr. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Rose,
Yes.
Mr. Bitler,
Yes.
oh, yes. All right, Ryan. Good evening, board. First item I have on the agenda is M3 Explo. Our latest review letter dated September 26th was part of the engineer's report. At the planning commission meeting, your planning commission recommended 8 waivers, as well as conditional final plan approval. Quickly, those waivers are section 403 to permit the plan to be preliminary and final at the same time. South of section 301E8 to not label all the right-of-way and cartway data. South of section 301E10 to not require full calculation of net versus gross lot areas. South of section 301E12 to not replace missing track corners. Section 303E2 to not require the full track boundaries and right-of-ways to be labeled. Section 303E10 to not require elevation data at each property corner. And 2 relief from the stormwater ordinance, section 307 from the stream bank erosion criteria, and section 380 to not require the 2-year post-development rate to be reduced below the 1-year pre-development rate. Quickly, the first 6 of those really have to do with the fact that this site, as you know, is located in the middle of a large farm tract. So they felt relief from some of those requirements was appropriate. And the 2 stormwater sections really deal with the fact that the overall study area from a stormwater standpoint is large. This site itself is small. There's not a lot of impervious coverage. There's not a lot of stormwater to control. So really, what they're asking for here, in my opinion, is de minimis from the stormwater. So they were all recommended, as well as conditional final plan approval, subject to any remaining comments in the September 26, 2025 letter. There are representatives here for the plan. If anybody has any questions or would like to see that plan, they're here this evening as well. It really hasn't changed, right? No.
They were supposed to make all the notations on the plans, correct?
That's captured in the letter, yeah.
They did that, or?
I have not received a revised plan since planning. I think they wanted to add these dates if they want.
And you just want to do a conditional approval.
Yes, conditioned upon the
Well,
9/26/2025.
Make a motion on the waivers first.
We need to make a motion to accept those
To
waivers,
grant
we
it.
need to list them. What?
Just a motion to grant the waivers as stated by Engineer Rose.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the waivers as stated by Ryan Rhodes.
I'll second, roll call, Mr. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bitler,
Yes.
no, yes.
Next motion would be to grant conditional plan approval contingent upon the developer's satisfaction with Kraft's 926 letter.
Okay. That works.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, so, we have a second.
I'll second motion.
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Roll call, Mr. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So are we heading to now?
Happy to come.
It's always better you guys are here in case there's questions.
Yeah, no problem at all.
If it works out well, that you come and nobody has questions, you'll wanna come more frequently without having to be asked.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Next item that I have, we received the payment application, and request, from Alan Myers. This is for the work that we discussed before, the paving contract. They're requesting, final payment in the amount of $247,190.25. That request reflects, a contract, deduction of $27,218.40. So I have for the board this evening a change order, signed by the contractor, that reflects that reduction of $27,218.40. And I also have the final payment application signed by the contractor in the amount of $247,190.25.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve change order number one in the amount of $27,218.40, as well as payment application number one in the amount of $247,190.25.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, Mr. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right. I had circulated in the report, and we discussed at the workshop meeting, the estimates for 2026 street work. I got together with Harold and Barry, and we looked at a scope of work. The proposal is to oil and chip, double application of oil and chip the Calico Road and Plow Road, and to pave, contract pave Buck Hollow Road from Route 10 to Overlook Drive. The crew work would be Seifert Drive and Hewitt, conditioned upon us resolving some limits of work on those, as well as miscellaneous patching throughout the township. My estimate, again, based on budget numbers, was $640,958. Now, I think as Barry and I start to fine tune that number will likely come down. I also ran that same scope of work using the prices we received this year for paving work, which, although we've been a little late, were favorable. And it was $581,603. So our thinking here is if we authorize this to be bid late this year, very early next year, we should be able to get this in close to our $550,000 budget number that we'd like to shoot for. Harold, anything to add?
Yeah, I just like sooner the better. We have had Union contacted us. They're ready to go join us in the bidding process, which will help us reduce.
Yes, that's something
our
that's not
overcost.
factored into this estimate,
Yeah.
is when we
I have
bulk
not
package
heard back
that
from
oil
Brett.
and chip and get a better price. Yeah.
So, but like I said, sooner, because it takes time for everybody to work their numbers at night. I'd kind of like to try to bid this December if we can.
Kind of went with what you already asked, end of the year, beginning of the year.
So I don't know if the boards would consider a motion tonight to authorize us to start putting this together, you know, and then come back to you with potential bid dates and coordinate with those other municipalities. Or if you wanna take a look at this for another couple of days and look and revisit it workshop, it's your call.
Yeah, but if we revisit it, then we're gonna put you two back by a month.
I'll make a motion,
Yeah, we need to
start the
move forward.
process.
I'll second,
Roll call, Mrs. Joy,
yes.
Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right, we'll get cranking on that. That's all I have for you, unless there's any questions from the report or others.
I have a really dumb question. It's not really for me. It's not for me, it's for the people here on YouTube. I've been asked about 24 times. The 724 bridge, the Allegheny Bell Road Bridge. Extended projects. I've been asked, why are they gonna take 10 months or a year, but we put a bridge on Route 10 in 4 days? I am the farthest thing from an engineer ever. What is your 10-second answer to that? 'Cause I don't have it.
I can help answer the one on 724.
Go ahead.
I talked to the guy working in charge of the project, and apparently there's so much work they can do in January, February, and then they have to wait until some seasonal thing because of the gas lines being right up against it. So I think it's in April that they can start driving these things in there.
That was 724.
That's the 724 one. And to drive these things in order to be able to finish the project. You know, you believe me, I would like that one to be done sooner than later.
A lot of it, I think, has to do too with, are we saving the abutments or aren't we?
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so for instance, Rock Hollow Road, we were able to save those abutments. Like Harold said, they're prepping the new beam seats. A lot of the bridge stays, right? We're wrestling with one in another municipality that Colin knows about, where the price is just skyrocketing because we're not able to do that. You know, it's an entire new structure. So it depends on what's good and what's not good when you rip these things apart and when you have the engineers look at them.
You never know.
Utility conflicts could be.
I think the worst thing that happened was that bridge being done that quick.
Yeah.
Right, that's that question.
Well, yeah, now
That
everybody's
was
so
high profile.
why.
Everybody
Yeah,
said
oh,
it.
it was quick.
Why the other end.
They tell you it's 10 months, if they're done in 8, we're all happy.
Hey, look, I'm excited to be able to tell people when they ask me 20 questions about Rock Hollow, because,
College should be done before the end of the year.
yeah, I heard that, so when they have their champagne and it's not there, I'm sending them to you.
Harold's hosting the party.
Yeah.
Colin, anything
Well,
from
I live on
Brecknock?
Stevie.
Nothing to report. And Harold, you said nothing from Brecknock, you made that comment, you said update here.
Well, yeah, this is Barry and the guys are over there, finishing up paving over Brecknock, helping them. I was talking more about bidding road project with them for next year.
And we have EAC here, it was mentioned at the last meeting that they would like all the minutes of everybody to be on the website? Because apparently EAC's not on there.
You're talking about Park and Rec or EAC?
Well, EAC, because that.
Yeah, you know,
Everybody's got enough work, kind of.
well, I'm just kind of hedging that, but there is a tremendous amount of workload there right now, and when we get a chance, we can get them posted. But there's oftentimes, we don't get some of these minutes, and I'm not saying these guys in particular, but there's some minutes we don't get for a quarter.
Yeah.
And then, get them posted, well, haven't even approved them yet. Yeah, so, we do what we can, but,
There's a lot more things going on right now than that, in fairness to everybody.
yeah, so, and they have to, work with us a little bit.
All right, it's no new business, anything, anybody like to comment on the old business? And do we need an executive session right now?
Do we need one?
Do we need one?
I got something, but I don't know that we really need to go to an executive, just for that, we can talk about it later.
Interesting now.
No, I'll be, if we want to, do it, not take 2 seconds.
All right, if it's an executive session thing for 2 seconds? Is it personnel?
No, you're saying do it now, right here.
Yeah, no, we can do down there, I don't want, how can you have an executive, I don't like sitting here, but take us 2 minutes to take.
All right, well, then we'll go to executive session at 7:55.
No, I need you to sign these contracts.
Oh, I said 2 seconds.
Last year I had a camera down on the river, like on the farm. I had one picture of this like gigantic monster. It was like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It was making no sense. No one was around. I mean, it was like jaw dropping.
All day long, she, the couple was okay, they
I'll get out for
last
like
overnight, I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
just jumped off. And now, right now, we have no panels except our.
Thank you for the email. Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, I got that. Not all can get that, so.
Yeah,
I
you're
guess
welcome.
what Peterson is limited to, because.
Yeah, no, they did a great job. They even started, I apologize, I don't remember their names. Michael. Yeah, he's very funny. Yeah, he stopped me today and just asked, if I had any questions or, is everything working, just to check the monitor, and I appreciate that. What's wrong?
Don't forget the YouTube channel. Don't forget the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And security.
Like, people should know if you get under the white shit like that, it should say, hey, you, blue shirts, blue pants, you, and it is security area, leave immediately, the police have the news.
Yeah.
No, I told them, like, that's pretty cool. I didn't have a chance to stop down, I told them I wanted to, because I didn't know they even did that.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's AI features. I was just at a conference and there's all kinds of new stuff coming out. There's kind of, all these cameras up to the bottom line.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they probably learned if they're AI.
So this is like, middle of next year, they're releasing all this software. All the AI stuff, that's
Compiled it.
7 a.m. If anybody's there at dark, it should tell me if she's out here.
That's pretty cool, I didn't know it was that. I told them that, I was away training for a week, I just got back. I haven't had a chance to really dive into the county, and I told them if I had any questions, which I'm sure I'm gonna have questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a positive sign for them, you know,
Around, just sit here and chill.
it could be running things, risk taking, we're going back to 500 houses.
I know, when I brought it up on my computer, I see all of the park cameras. Not that I don't want to see them, I don't really need to see them, I'd rather see the cameras here.
You can
Shuffle them around, yeah, he said I'm gonna be able to drag and drop, and I said, okay, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
That when you move, you should actually have a choice. Over there where the park is.
Yeah, I just like this, I just watch it, I was gonna watch it. And then I'll just go back. And also did tell him, because I know he's worried about camera on the fall show. I told him that is mine personally, don't believe in camera. He said, might not, but it's working great. I just told him, keep it playing in the back of his mind. If something can go out without mine, especially when they push
Have you seen the wire? The wire was hit. So it was hit down on the salt side. And everything's corroded from the salt. So I think it's a grounding issue. And we're definitely gonna have problems sooner or later. But running in conduits, whoever ran the conduit didn't really do a good job. Because on both ends, I think the one over here is like 5 feet away from the building. Well, it's not a good job. They just have to come up with a plan.
Keep a plan in mind when it goes out. Yeah, I'm gonna want it to get fixed. You think they hit it with like?
Right.
It's all jacked, it's all from it.
No, thank you. As always, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
I'll jump over.
Yeah, I know, that's just
We'll come back in session at 8:01, we just talked about legal and contractual concerns. Executive session. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:02. Make a motion to adjourn at 8:02. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will start signing.
Oh, that's up there.
You're in Thursday? I think it'll run down tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, but speakers of no matter, get rid of it.
We can set the alarm off and see what happens. I don't think it's gonna work.
Alright.
Take these.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Take care. See you next week.
Sounds good.
So why don't I have the generic,
Yeah.
These checks are that people actually call it I didn't see what they did on 10, was it just a redecking, or did they really?
I was shocked,
So you drive.
that, they did it so fast and they didn't provide, I thought a metal roof
That bridge, they had to come back out and re-salt cut because it
Oh, these are done.
was much thicker than they thought it was. They lost their day there. The other companies are fine. And it said, well, the same thing, much thicker.
Oh, there it is.
But I was surprised you were sitting steel. Hopefully it's a better design.
Two of us wraps.
I think they're gonna prep like beams, like it sits on. Did they say when the beams will?
They said next week. I'll be honest. I'll check it.
Yeah, we're still looking at, like, it's like, we're kind of looking.
I was gonna send you, I took a couple pictures, I was gonna send you.
I drove down that.
Did you?
Yeah, I figured I'd better see it.
Some of those pieces were like,
I was like, it looks much bigger now that they have it apart.
I wanna see them set a few beams.
But it's funny because what I was talking about, you know, those.
My next complaint for the last 48 hours of all the traffic on West America.
Hey, every time I go there, people are working out on that. So it's more like an adult workout.
I've already pre-planned in my own head, going to work is now going to be music like fair, Plow, Zion.
Yep.
Not even going here.
Same, right, so it's almost like, when you look at also like, Robeson Township has the whole walking path.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go that way too, Scott.
On your way to work?
Yeah.
Yeah, you woke up?
Like he's worried about it.
Jeff's on his couch putting his clothes on.
Yeah, so now.
I'm concerned with that road.
The guy did their food, shoes and jeans, got boots on, walked the back way.
Yep.
Got the green screen behind him.
Oh, he's out.
You know.
The way I like it.
Well, that's a great thing, that's what it's, because I'm thinking,
Hey, I wanted to mention, when you guys are signing checks, I wanted to mention, we got dinged by the auditors. I think some of you guys signed on the same line.
There's only one line.
Online.
Yeah, so they're seeing it as one signature, so
So separate them.
Well, then get checks that have two lines, like some of them have two lines, some have one.
I know.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, thank you.
Yeah, put a little. Needs certain age thresholds, right? So not one size fits all. And so what we learned is that you can build what's called play zones.
You get a prescription pad, and you're in the motion.
just like the old movies in the eighties, the devil would sneak in.
Actually, I think the new checks we bought.
Some of them do. The last one, those blue ones don't, the brown ones have two lines.
I have 5 videos of me just frying.
That's great.
I'll show you the cute.
Is that it?
I prefer like blue, green versus brown.
I wish to let you do it going
We're in the
forward.
store.
Did you prepare them, or you just kind of snap the cookies on drawer too? That would go to your sock drawer too?
Oh, that's cute.
She's like rapid fire, this guy. What about that? How did you handle that? I was like,
I think no, I can't really. Yes. And then.
Respond to about, no, that should be on the agenda.
I love it. Yeah, that's space plan, I was I literally like just kept going back and looking at it, it's just like we've been there. Oh, good.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody, I prefer to do it on the workshop, because the budget should be the budget. Oh, no. Because we haven't done shit with the budget.
Make them sit through the budget. Well, we gotta pick